Grizzly fan, we've been waiting for weeks, or most people have been waiting for weeks.
Yep.
A lot of us kind of knew, probably before the season was over, that this was a foregone conclusion that Jaren wasn't gonna make All NBA. Just the downward trend after the All-Star break, it just was. It wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And so with that, obviously, I think, like you said, he was him and Sengun were like the ones right left off of it.
Yep.
Do with that what you may.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just is what it is, bro. You can't get rewarded for an All NBA season when you only play up to that level to a certain extent the first half of the year. And so with that, the $345 million contract at 5 years that would have been on the table had he gotten that, which a lot of us were feeling like that would be a terrible deal for the Grizzlies just because the value and roster construction moving forward. We don't have to argue about that no more. It is what it is. But I want to get your take on it and your thoughts on the situation with now going into the season. We talked about at the trade deadline that the whole unload Marcus Smart and the pick just to get off that contract at the deadline, it was a waste of a move. It was a waste of time, and you probably could have used him in the playoffs. Well, because of that contract being out the books, as well as Marvin Bagley, Luke Kennard, Santi Aldama, all of these free agents that have gone off the books for the summer, the Grizzlies now have the ability to actually renegotiate with him this summer to bump that contract up right now. And then if they want to extend on top of that, they do have that ability. So if you want to give some hindsight to it, okay, that should not have been the idea at that time, but it's where we are now. What's your thoughts, bro? Like, do you think that Jaren, this summer he goes ahead and gets that re-up, he locks it in, or do you feel like he's going to wait, play out this season, see what happens, and then decide to either renegotiate next summer or get pissed off and just at that point when it's all said and done, either walk or ask for a trade? Like, what are your thoughts with this situation? Because there's a lot of possibilities. So where you at with it?
It's definitely a lot of possibilities. And I personally think, I was talking to my dad about this the other day when the news first broke. I personally think he's going to wait out this season and just kind of bet on himself, because I doubt he wants to sign a contract where he lost out on $200 million from a 150 to a 345. Like, that's a lot of money to lose out on. Like, of course, I didn't want to pay Jaren that much, but as a black man, I can appreciate a black man trying to get his money. So
I don't appreciate no black man scamming, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't with you on that one.
That is fact. That's fact. No, that is fact.
You black scammers, you get the hell out my face, bro. Oh shit! Bro, I'm fool with you as a black scam. You come on me talking all day, all support a black business, man. You can get your ass out my face, bro. Don't scam me, bro.
Oh my god. Okay. It's like
my bad, dog.
Chris on time, y'all. I'm tired. Chris trying to make me trip out. Anyway, I feel like he's gonna wait out this year. I feel like he's gonna bet on himself and try to get to maximize his deal next year. He maybe want to test the market if we underperform again, because of course I would hate for Jaren Jackson Jr. to just walk away in free agency. But if we have another underperforming year, that is one reality we may have to just entertain, because Ja Morant's going to year 7. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to year 8. Desmond going to year 6. Our core, as we can see with everyone else around the league, they are right at the prime age to be able to contend. So if we're constantly not performing and these contract situations come up, we have to think about the possibility of these guys wanting out because we're not meeting expectations. So in the long term of things, I think this is a great move, being that Jaren didn't get the money, because I feel like this frees up a lot of cap space for what he will do. But if I could bet money, I feel like he's gonna wait and try to get as much money as possible. And he also knows this summer that we need some more roster construction. So he's trying to free up as much room he can this summer to make those moves. Because I feel like Jaren wants to stay in Memphis. He wants to play and bring a champion to the city. I have no doubt in my mind with any of the core three. So let's just say all the core three is here next year. I bet they're gonna try to do as best as they can to make the moves around them to propel us next year. And Jaren signing an extension this summer does not help that cause. So I don't see the positives do not outweigh the negatives of Jaren signing this year compared to waiting a whole nother year and trying to maximize his money. Then, being that we are very far away from contending for what we see in the hierarchy of the playoffs right now. So I think Jaren will wait and try to get his money up next year.
Yep. I think if I was his agent, I put like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's
Put
gonna
your
do.
business hat on.
Yeah, if I was his agent, I would go ahead and take that renegotiation this summer and
Mm.
extend this summer. Reason being, like, can't makes you crazy.
I'm finna put that joint right there. You can keep talking so much out to see that coming because King Me's hilarious, dog.
Man, he bet not. He bet not. He
I
bet not.
would. Ooh. All right.
But I'll say this. I feel like, and shout out to Daniel Greer. I think I was listening to what's his name, Keith Parrish on his show. He talked about this as well. That ideally, if Jaren took up the available cap space this summer to renegotiate, he could bump up his deal another like $7 to $8 million. He's at 23 million because it was on a declining deal. So we'll go to about 30 million-ish dollars this current season or next season. And then on top of that, go ahead and re-sign a 4-year deal. So basically, it would be a fresh 5-year deal. It's just he'll be doing it a year early because he got a renegotiation, got basically a pay raise this coming summer. And with that, I think it was like 195 over 4 years. So you're looking at a little bit less than 50 mil a season. I think that's a fair contract for dude. When you look at it, 5 years, basically 225. I think that's fair for the production that Jaren has given. And if he want to agree to that, cool. Like, people can say all they want, and that's the reason. Like, we were having these conversations, and I'm tired of really talking about it. I don't really engage with it with this conversation no more. It's laughable, and there's a lot of people trying to sit here and pit. You know, they're trying to blame Jaren's pitfalls or his fall off this season or the second half of the season. They're trying to blame it on Ja, and I think that's real nasty of y'all. First of all, because OKC wouldn't do that shit with Shea and Jalen Williams. Like, Shea's the guy. You know, he has no bearings on what Jalen Williams does. That's on Jalen to handle. Same thing with Ant and Randall up in Minnesota. Like, everybody knows who the guy is, and I don't know what happened. Like, yes, Jaren was playing well this season, but it was never a question of whose team this was. It shouldn't have been. To a logical NBA fan, screw Grizzly fan, a logical NBA fan knew all along it was never in doubt this was Ja Morant's team. You saw the offense change. You saw the ball get out of his hands. And it is what it is. You know, people was happy we was winning games against sorry teams. And we saw what happened when the league figured out the offense and started to double team Jaren. He was like a deer in headlights. He had no clue what to do with that. And so, y'all stop that shit. Like, stop, bro. We know who team this is. It's Ja's team, and we're not gonna blame Ja on Jaren's downfalls, just like we're not gonna blame Jaren for any of Ja's downfalls. Like, Jaren can't make Ja get a consistent jump shot every single night. He can't do that. That's not his fault if he don't come back next season with that. So stop doing it, then vice versa. Like, these grown men, they basketball players that are making millions of dollars. We ain't got to do no infighting. Like, let's just be logical and objective when it comes to that. That's just kind of crazy as hell to me. But to get back on track, talking about that, like, I think that's very fair as far as if you're going to keep him moving forward, because that still gives you the flexibility to go out there and technically get a 1B, 1A, however you look at Ja, or a clear number 2. Jaren's going to have to be way more consistent and step up in crucial moments and crucial games before I consider him to be a number 2. I saw somewhere like he's averaging like 15 points and 7 rebounds in the playoffs for his career. No, bro, you don't get 300 million from me with that. I don't care what you do in the regular season. I don't care about the 2 All-Stars, the DPO. I don't care about none of that. When your playoff success is that, or your playoff resume is that, and it's 100% not leading to wins, because this group only has one playoff series win in their entire existence at this point. That's not enough, bro. And so, if that is the conversation, I think that deal gets done immediately. They go ahead and lock that in because injuries happen. And if you risk something happening next year, knock on wood, you can kiss that deal goodbye. You're not getting 225 if something like that happens. So yeah, I think he goes ahead and gets that done. But it's to be seen, bro. I don't know where his head is. And so it just really depends on what that looks like. I had people talk about, well, maybe he takes a discount. He ain't taking much of a discount than past that. You're not getting Jaren Jackson for 4 years, 150. You're not getting that.
Missed out. You already missed out $200 million. That man ain't taking
Yeah.
that much. You ain't doing that. Like, come on. It's a
Nah.
business in the day. You ain't doing that, bro. Nah.
Yeah. So let's say let's go with your theory, right? Let's say he does say, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna bet on myself. Screw that renegotiation. I'm gonna get my 23 million. I'm gonna be happy, and I'm gonna look to get a big payday next season. I'm gonna bank on myself getting all NBA or a deport next year. At that point, let's say he either gets it or maybe he still misses it, but he can go out and test the waters on the free market and still get probably more than 250, maybe 265, 270. At that point, if the Grizzlies can't or not willing to pay that, are you cool with letting him walk?
For sure. Well, my core answer is yes, but that's if we underperform again next year. If we go to West Conference Finals next year, excuse me, of course not. But if we if we see no like progression into what this team can do, then yes, walk. Then I'll just round with Ja and give Ja a real co-star. Like, as long as, like, I'm kind of like you. I'm not, of course, I'm mostly attached to everybody on the team. I'm a Grizzlies fan, but I care about production and who does the best job to make the name on the front of the jersey be successful.